Dr. Grant Patrick. The Redheads, Unforgettable Grandpa's Fairy Tales. Chapter 15. The Heartwood's Guardians. The Redheads returned from their encounter with the Lord of Shadows, weary yet resolute. Beneath the sheltering canopy of the Heartwood tree, they gathered to reflect on what they had learned. Though the Lord of Shadows' malevolence was palpable, the unity they shared and the magic bestowed by the forest guardians proved to be their greatest strength. Still, the forest remained far from safe. Liam surveyed his friends, noting the fire of determination burning in their eyes. Each redhead carried within them a new strength, a gift from the guardians that thrummed with a quiet but undeniable power. The guardians themselves lingered in the clearing, their ancient presence a source of comfort and wisdom as they prepared for the next chapter of their struggle. The silver-furred wolf, ever their calm and stoic mentor, addressed them with a steady gaze. "The Lord of Shadows may have retreated, but he is far from defeated," the wolf intoned gravely. "He will return, more dangerous than before, and with a darkness that will seek to engulf everything. You must be ready." "But how do we prepare for that?" Roisin asked, her voice edged with concern. "His power nearly overwhelmed us, even with the magic of the forest on our side." The bear, the mightiest of all the guardian eyes, softened, his imposing demeanor giving way to a rare moment of understanding. He nodded slowly, the weight of his wisdom evident. "The magic you wield is powerful," he rumbled, his voice like distant thunder, "but it is not your only weapon. The Lord of Shadows thrives on fear, doubt, and discord. Your greatest strength lies in your unity. Guard your hearts against his whispers as fiercely as you defend the forest." Eber, who had remained thoughtful during the conversation, stepped forward. Her voice was clear and firm as she said, "Then we need to strengthen our bond. If he aims to divide us, we must become inseparable, like the roots of the heartwood tree, deep and intertwined, impossible to break." The redheads exchanged resolute nods. They understood that the trials ahead would test them in ways they could scarcely imagine. Yet they also knew that only by standing together could they hope to protect their home and each other. With the Guardian's guidance, they set about honing their newfound abilities. Each redhead devoted themselves to mastering their gift, learning to wield the forest's magic with precision and care. Liam's gift of resilience made him impervious to the whispers of fear and doubt. He stood as an unyielding pillar of strength, his unwavering courage inspiring his friends to hold fast. Roisin, with her gift of harmony, discovered she could calm even the most frightened or frenzied creatures. She practiced tirelessly, her touch bringing peace to distressed animals and restoring balance wherever it was needed. Kieran's gift of courage burned bright within him, imbuing him with an unflinching resolve. No peril could shake him, and his fearless spirit served as a bulwark against the Lord of Shadows' insidious influence. Even as they trained, the redheads made time to strengthen the ties between them. Around the campfire each evening, they shared stories of their childhood adventures, laughter that echoed through the woods, and dreams for the forest's future. These moments of camaraderie wove their spirits together, creating an unbreakable bond, a friendship destined to endure whatever challenges lay ahead. One evening, as the fire crackled and the stars shimmered above, the redheads discussed their plan. "We know the Lord of Shadows will strike again," Finn said, his voice steady. "But where will he come from? And how can we defend the forest without knowing his plans?" The silver-furred wolf listened thoughtfully. "The Lord of Shadows is cunning," he replied. "He will not attack head-on. Instead, he will try to weaken you from within. He will seek to sow discord and doubt among you, to make you question your strength and your unity." The wolf's words sent a shiver through the group. They had already seen the effects of the Lord of Shadows' influence, the way his whispers had crept into their minds, making them doubt each other and themselves. But they were determined not to let him succeed. "We need to fortify the heartwood tree," Neof said, her expression resolute. "It's the source of the forest's strength. If we protect it, we protect all of us." The guardians agreed. Together, they devised a plan to create a protective barrier around the heartwood tree, one that would shield it from the Lord of Shadows' influence. They would weave their magic into the roots of the tree, strengthening it with their own power. Each redhead took a turn placing their hands on the heartwood tree, pouring their energy into its roots. The tree responded to their touch, its branches glowing with a faint, golden light. As they worked, they could feel the bond between them growing stronger, a force that pulsed with life and warmth. As dawn approached, the barrier was complete. The heartwood tree now stood as a beacon of light, a symbol of hope and resilience against the encroaching darkness. But their task was not yet finished. The guardians had warned them that the Lord of Shadows would not stop trying to weaken their hearts. He would also seek to corrupt the creatures of the forest, turning them into agents of darkness. The Redheads knew they would need to protect the forest's inhabitants as well. Under the guardians' guidance, they set out to strengthen the bonds between the creatures of the forest. Roisin used her gift of harmony to communicate with the animals, teaching them to resist the Lord of Shadows' influence. She spoke to the birds, the foxes, the deer, and even the tiniest insects, urging them to stay close to one another and to seek shelter near the heartwood tree if the darkness grew too strong. The animals listened, their eyes wide with understanding. They could sense the love and care that the Redheads held for them, and they promised to do their part in protecting the forest. As the days passed, the Redheads grew stronger, their spirits unyielding in the face of the coming storm. They knew that the final confrontation was near, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. One evening, as they gathered around the fire, Liam spoke, his voice filled with resolve. "We have come a long way," he said, looking at each of his friends in turn. "We've faced danger, we've faced fear, and we've faced our own doubts. But we're still here, and we're stronger than ever." The others nodded, their faces illuminated by the warm glow of the fire. They could feel the strength of their bond, a force that no darkness could break. Roisin placed her hand on Liam's shoulder, a smile spreading across her face. "We're ready," she said. "Whatever the Lord of Shadows throws at us, we'll face it together." As they sat by the fire, a sudden rustling in the trees caught their attention. They looked up, their senses alert, ready to face whatever danger awaited them. But it was only a small, timid creature, a young fox, its fur matted and its eyes filled with fear. Roisin kneeled down, holding out her hand to the fox. "It's all right," she whispered, her voice gentle and soothing. "You're safe here." The fox hesitated, but something in Roisin's voice calmed it. It crept forward, sniffing her hand before allowing her to stroke its fur. The Redheads watched, their hearts warmed by the sight. As the fox settled in Roisin's lap, it seemed to find comfort in her touch, its fear melting away. It was a small victory, a reminder that even the smallest creatures could find solace in the warmth of friendship and kindness. But as they sat together, their minds returned to the Lord of Shadows. They knew that this peace would not last forever. The darkness was still out there, waiting, watching, and biding its time. The night was quiet, but the Redheads could feel the weight of the coming storm. They knew that the final battle was drawing near and that they would need every ounce of strength, every spark of courage, to face the Lord of Shadows. As dawn broke over the forest, they rose from their campfire, their faces set with determination. They were ready to face whatever lay ahead, to protect their home and their friends from the darkness. For they were the Redheads, the protectors of the forest, and they would stand together no matter what.